What if I told you that some of the world's most powerful life changes don't come from dramatic overhauls, but from tiny, almost invisible shifts in how you approach each day? Japan has given us incredible wisdom through concepts like Kaizen, Ikigai, and the art of tidying. But these aren't just philosophical ideas, they're practical habits that anyone can adopt starting today. In the next 16 minutes, we're going to explore 10 tiny Japanese habits that can create a massive difference in your life. These aren't complicated, they won't require hours of your time, but they will change how you think, feel, and show up in the world. Let's dive in. Habit 1, the 1 minute principle. The first habit comes from the heart of Kaizen, the philosophy of continuous improvement through small steps. Here's the principle. If something takes less than 1 minute to do it immediately. Hang up your coat when you walk in. Put the dish in the dishwasher right after using it. Reply to that quick text. File that paper. Why does this matter? Because tiny tasks left undone accumulate into mental clutter. Each unfinished microtask is a small weight on your mind. When you handle 1 minute tasks immediately, you're not just keeping your space tidy, you're keeping your mind clear. The Japanese approach to Kaizen teaches us that massive change comes from consistent, tiny improvements. 1 minute at a time, you're building a life of completion rather than accumulation. Try this today. Notice when a task takes less than 60 seconds. Don't postpone it. Just do it and feel the lightness that follows. Habit 2. Morning. Gratitude ritual. The second habit is simple but profound. Start each day by acknowledging 3 things you're grateful for. This isn't just positive thinking, it's rooted in how we find meaning. The concept of Ikigai teaches us to discover purpose in the everyday, not just in the grand achievements. When you begin your morning by recognizing what already brings joy, you're training your mind to see abundance rather than lack. Gratitude doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as appreciating your morning coffee, the comfort of your bed, or the fact that you woke up with another day ahead. This practice takes about 30 seconds but shifts your entire mindset. Instead of starting your day focused on what's wrong or what you need to fix, you begin from a place of fullness. The Japanese understand that meaning isn't something we find in the future. It's something we recognize in the present moment. Gratitude is a tool that helps us see it. Habit 3. Touching items before organizing. Here's a habit that might sound unusual but is remarkably powerful. Before you organize or decide what to keep, physically touch each item. This comes from the KonMari method, which teaches us that our belongings have a relationship with us. When you touch something, really hold it in your hands. You can sense whether it brings you joy or simply takes up space. Most of us organize by category or by moving things around, but we rarely pause to truly feel our connection to our possessions. Touching creates awareness. It breaks the autopilot mode where we keep things simply because we've always had them. Try this with your clothes, your books, or even kitchen items. Pick up each object. Notice how it feels in your hands. Ask yourself, does this add value to my life right now? This isn't about throwing everything away. It's about being intentional. The Japanese approach to tidying isn't about minimalism for its own sake. It's about surrounding yourself only with things that support the life you want to live. When you touch your belongings with awareness, you're practicing respect for your things, your space, and yourself. Habit 4. The 5S methodology for your space. Let's talk about how the Japanese approach organization in workplaces and how you can use it at home. The 5S methodology stands for sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. Sort, remove what doesn't belong. Set in order, everything should have a designated place. Shine, clean and maintain your space regularly. Standardize, create routines so organization becomes automatic. Sustain, make these practices a lasting habit. This might sound corporate, but it's incredibly practical for everyday life. Think about your desk, your kitchen counter, or your bedroom. When everything has a home, you never waste time searching. When you clean as you go, maintenance becomes effortless. When you standardize your approach, decision fatigue disappears. The beauty of 5S is that it removes friction from your daily life. You're not constantly reorganizing or hunting for things. Your environment supports you instead of draining you. Start small. Pick one surface, your desk, your nightstand, and apply the 5S method. You'll be amazed at how much mental space it frees up. Habit 5. Finding your reason for being. This habit asks you to reflect on a deeper question. What is your Ikigai? Ikigai is your reason for getting up in the morning. It sits at the intersection of four elements: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be rewarded for. You don't need to figure this out all at once. In fact, the Japanese approach suggests that Ikigai is discovered through living, not through intense soul searching. Here's a tiny habit. Spend 5 minutes each week reflecting on these questions. What activities make you lose track of time? What do people thank you for or come to you for help with? What problems in the world touch your heart? What skills could support you financially? Write down your thoughts. Don't force answers, just explore. Over time, patterns emerge. You begin to see threads connecting your interests, your talents, and your values. Your Ikigai doesn't have to be your career. It can be a hobby, a volunteer activity, or how you show up for your family. The habit is simply this. Regularly ask yourself what makes life feel meaningful, then do a little more of that. When you align your days with your Ikigai, even small tasks feel purposeful. Habit 6. Folding clothes vertically. Here's a practical habit that seems small but changes everything about your relationship with your belongings. Fold your clothes vertically instead of stacking them. When you stack clothes horizontally, items at the bottom get forgotten. You wear the same few things on top while the rest languish unused. But when you fold clothes into compact rectangles and store them standing upright in your drawer, you can see everything at once. This method, popularized by the KonMari approach, has several benefits. You can see exactly what you own. Getting dressed becomes easier. You treat your clothes with more care because each item is visible and accessible. It takes a few extra seconds to fold this way, but the payoff is enormous. Your mornings are smoother. You rediscover clothes you've forgotten about. And paradoxically, you might realize you need less because you're actually using what you have. This tiny shift reflects a larger Japanese value, treating your possessions with respect and intentionality. Your clothes aren't just stuff. They're tools that help you present yourself to the world. Fold them with care. Habit 7. The 2-minute reset. Here's a habit that combines Kaizen with practical action. At the end of each day, spend just 2 minutes resetting your space. Before bed, take 2 minutes to return things to their proper places. Hang up clothes, clear the kitchen counter, straighten the couch cushions, put away whatever migrated during the day. This isn't a deep clean, it's a quick reset that prevents chaos from accumulating. Why does this work? Because disorder builds gradually. One dish becomes a sink full of dishes. One jacket on a chair becomes a pile of clothes. The 2-minute reset interrupts that progression. You wake up to order instead of chaos. Your morning starts with clarity instead of stress. And because you're only investing 2 minutes, it never feels overwhelming. This habit embodies Kaizen perfectly. Tiny, consistent actions that compound into significant results. You're not trying to transform your entire home in one exhausting session. You're simply maintaining order, one small reset at a time. It's a difference between running a marathon once a year and walking for 10 minutes every day. The second approach actually gets you further. Habit 8. Intentional purchasing. Before you buy something new, pause and ask yourself one question. Does this bring me joy, or am I filling a void? This habit draws from the philosophy that our possessions should enhance our lives, not clutter them. The Japanese approach to material goods emphasizes quality over quantity and intention over impulse. Here's how to practice this. Before making a purchase, especially non-essential items, wait 24 hours. During that time, ask yourself, do I have something that already serves this purpose? Will this genuinely improve my daily life? Am I buying this because I want it or because I'm trying to solve an emotional need through consumption? Often, we shop to feel better, to keep up with others, or simply out of boredom, but possessions acquired for these reasons rarely bring lasting satisfaction. They just become more things to organize, maintain, and eventually discard. When you buy intentionally, you respect both your financial resources and your living space. You surround yourself with items you truly value rather than things that just take up room. This doesn't mean deprivation, it means being selective. It means honoring your future self by not burdening them with unnecessary stuff. Intentional purchasing is an act of self respect disguised as a shopping habit. Habit 9. Creating small daily rituals. The Japanese excel at finding meaning in small, repeated actions. Tea ceremonies, flower arranging, even the way meals are presented reflects deep intentionality. You can create your own tiny rituals that anchor your day and bring mindfulness into ordinary moments. A ritual is different from a routine. A routine is brushing your teeth. A ritual is lighting a candle while you have your morning coffee, fully present to the aroma and warmth. Here are some examples. Taking 3 deep breaths before checking your phone in the morning. Arranging your desk with care before starting work. Setting the table thoughtfully even when eating alone. Taking a moment of silence before a meal to appreciate the food. Writing 1 sentence in a journal before bed. These rituals take almost no time, but they transform mundane activities into moments of presence. They're anchors that pull you out of autopilot and into awareness. In the rush of modern life, rituals remind us that how we do things matters as much as what we do. They're tiny ceremonies that honor the sacredness of everyday life. Choose one small ritual to add to your day. Notice how it changes your experience. Habit 10. Embracing wabi-sabi. Our final habit is more of a perspective shift. Embrace imperfection. Wabi-sabi is the Japanese aesthetic that finds beauty in imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. It's the appreciation of a chipped teacup, a weathered piece of wood, or a flower beginning to wilt. In practical terms, this means releasing the pressure for everything to be perfect. Your home doesn't need to look like a magazine spread. Your work doesn't need to be flawless before you share it. Your body doesn't need to meet impossible standards. The tiny habit, when you notice yourself fixating on an imperfection, pause. Look for the beauty in it instead. That crack in your favorite mug, it's a sign of use and love. The mismatched furniture in your home, it tells the story of your life. The wrinkles forming on your face, they're evidence that you've laughed, worried, lived. Wabi-sabi teaches us that nothing lasts, nothing is finished, and nothing is perfect, and that's exactly as it should be. When you embrace this truth, you free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of an impossible ideal. You become gentler with yourself, more accepting of others, more able to appreciate life as it actually is rather than how you think it should be. This perspective shift is perhaps the most powerful habit of all because it changes how you experience everything else. So there you have it, 10 tiny Japanese habits that can create massive change. Handle 1-minute tasks immediately, start your day with gratitude, touch your belongings with awareness, organize with the 5S method, reflect on your Ikigai, fold your clothes vertically, reset your space for 2 minutes each night, purchase intentionally, create small daily rituals, and embrace the beauty of imperfection. None of these requires dramatic effort, but together they create a life that's more intentional, peaceful, and meaningful. The Japanese wisdom in Kaizen, Ikigai, and the art of tidying all point to the same truth. Transformation happens in the smallest moments, not through perfection, but through practice, not through force, but through gentle, consistent attention. Which habit will you try first? Start there, let it ripple outward, and watch how tiny shifts create massive differences. Thank you for watching.